Hello everyone and welcome back to round 7 of our limited deck battle. Gary, how you doing? How you feeling after 6 complete rounds as we lead into the round 7?
Yeah, I'm feeling surprisingly good. Stream's been going for coming up to probably 8.5 hours, so we've been going for a while now. Interesting to see we've got round 7, which could potentially be our final round with another Croc versus Purple. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Yep, and I believe at this point in the tournament we have 3 undefeated. So depending on how that table 2 goes, this could potentially end the event here, or we may see another round following.
Definitely going to be very interesting. I hope we can get some nice fast plays and nice to see some clear Don sleeves, some clear decks. We've got really good camera angles for this match. Both of these players going undefeated up to this point, clearly showing that purple and blue in this starter deck battle has been extremely strong, especially now people are learning how the different decks work and how to play around things.
Yeah, and this is a matchup that we've seen in the round prior. For those that don't know, we will have all of these videos up on our YouTube. So if you're jumping into this one and you haven't seen the rounds prior, we do have another Croc vs Kaido on the channel. But we saw the matchup. We saw, how quickly Purple can take the turn and set things up once they have the Don available. Very clean, laying out his life. Easy to distinguish. His Don cards in the white sleeves. We've got the main deck in purple. As we can see in the Croc player, we've got the special sleeves for the Don deck and a different set of special sleeves for the main deck. Great way to distinguish which one's with which, and there is no question.
I think this is a really good matchup. Like we've seen in the previous rounds, we've obviously had a few blue versus purple before. Like you said, we can see how quickly both of these decks can establish a board state and both can deal with the board state and remove it. So quite a balanced amount with the way that these decks sort of work. We can see again diverse playmats. So coming from different games, people from different backgrounds. This game really bringing a whole bunch of people together, wanting to learn a new game and going for that great prize that we have today, which is the serialized number Luffy card that's going to be worth quite a bit in the collection.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's kind of stressful because your result of coming first doesn't just rely on you winning your match. It relies on that table 2 as well. So a lot to worry about. If you win, you're rooting for that down paired player to lose and secure your victory.
Absolutely. These guys can smell it. They know they're close. Taking the first damage there and getting optimal turn 3 play for the Croc player, setting up ready to go.
Yeah, and do we see the Onigashima Island come down for the Kaido? We see the one onto the sheep shed. Very similar. Yeah, very similar play to what we saw in the previous game, previous round, I should say. There's the 5k leader swing. We've seen a counter out, double counter out, and there's the stage. Perfect. Brilliant start to both of these players as we go into the blue player's turn.
Yeah, this is how you want to see both of these decks played. You want to see those optimal turns. We want to see the best of the best playing with optimal hands and not bricking. So this is really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to see both players playing at their best, playing with all cards available to them as we jump into this Sentomaru effect to bring out the Pacifista from the deck.
And as we've seen with these blue decks, like getting this Pacifista out early, getting that presence, being able to put that 6,000 power attack is just crucial. So most of these players opting to leave these cards in active mode for as long as possible, really establish a board and put that pressure on.
Yep. And that sheep shed is in rest mode now, can be dealt with. Do we do the leader swing into the sheep shed?
You would imagine, yeah, maybe he'll look at buffing with the Don and going in with the leader to guarantee it goes, because obviously it can be counted out of. So it'd be interesting to see, does he go in with just a 5k or does he leave the cards open for an event card?
Absolutely. Yep, you're leaving it at 5k, you're one super counter out of that attack. So let's see what he does here. Leaving the 2-Don inactive, still deciding his turn and doing some calculations early on.
Croc doing some censorship work for us here in the middle of the playmat.
Keeping the stream PG. And looks like it's going to be a 5k swing. Potentially into that sheep shed. Purple player deciding. There's the counter. So we've got a super counter out of that attack, as we discussed earlier. Keeping it alive. And you're either swinging with that Sentimaru, or Sheepshed will live to see another day.
I think you want to leave it in active mode. I don't think it's wise to tap out. Unless he knows exactly where those cards are, if they're in his deck, if they're in his life hand. Obviously, we know there's another one in drop. Opting to swing, so he definitely wants to try and remove this board presence.
Yeah, and I dare say we'll see this Sentimaru attempt to be removed on purple player's turn. Just the amount of value that comes from having it on the field. We're going to double super counter out here.
Coming in clutch, having those cards early in hand.
Yeah, we see the Jinbei drop down for blue. It is a 2-drop skillless with 4,000 power. So now you know purple only has 2 of those super counters that have 2,000 counter on the side as opposed to 1,000 left in deck. They may not have them in hand, but we know how many are around.
I don't think we've seen. Have we seen Jinbei played at all today?
This is the first time. I believe we may have seen him get countered once or twice, but this is the first time we've seen him hit the field.
And we see that 1k buff again coming in with the 5k swing. Is he going to try and remove that board presence?
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like it.
Sentimaru. Yep, just confirming.
So just 4,000 power.
4,000. Yep.
So we've got 5,000.
And it
going
is
to remove
gone.
the Don.
That's definitely the right play.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to see more of those 6,000 power beaters coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you can find a way to remove that already established Pacifista, whether that's a king for the 6 or Ibaraki Bomber feels kind of rough here, but removing it is quite good because a 6,000 character card swinging at you does not feel nice. 5k swing. Only 3 cards in blue player's hand.
And we've seen that from all of our blue players today. Comfortable comboing out and really defending that life.
Yeah, absolutely. So people new to the game, these are the players you want to study. They've gone undefeated the entire way through this event. Get an idea of their play style and what they're doing and when they're using their counters, and it might help you in your games. We see the Who's Who drop down, the -1, the ability to KO that Jinbei. We didn't deal with the Pacifista, but we have limited the amount of attacks coming through to us the following turn, and we've established a low to the ground board.
Passing turn, we're going to see our Croc play go up to 7 Don.
A lot of plays.
Definitely going to have absolutely. So small hand size, but definitely a lot of value plays that they can do.
Yeah. 5k, assume into Sheepshed. Do we see the 3rd super counter? No, we do not. It's done its purpose. It's served its time. We're happy to let it go now. Pacifista into lead, and we will take
So.
No trigger.
This is where the math comes into it. Tapping 3. And we're setting up, yep.
And Pacifista
straight
gets
into
a
it.
twin brother.
Now, we've already seen at least 2. There was one that was used to counter, and we've already seen another one player that's been removed from the board. So this is the 3rd one that's come out that we've seen so far.
Yep. Blue player will know if that 4th one's in the deck, if it's in hand or if it's in life. So we'll see what happens on the next turn, whether they're still around, but able to establish another 6k beater.
And the blocker.
Nice. Yep. Law comes down as well.
And Law's such a value blocker for 1.
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, that gets offset a little bit by the Hancock being 3 energy for a blocker, but Hancock obviously having the trigger as well, and hitting that card off trigger at some of these, late game crucial moments can just be devastating. Lots of
So we've
Don
got
to play with for purple.
8 Don, still able to rest the stage card to go up to the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not really necessary unless you're going to activate your leader ability.
Mm-hmm. You will add, I guess, the extra Don, because you do have a lot of cards that do minus. So if you're minusing one for a queen, for a who's who, for things like that, then it does make sense to still resolve. Okay, there's the 4th Pacifista. Still resolve the Onigashima Island. There's the queen. So we see the -1. We'll draw 2, discard a card. Fingers crossed we're able to discard a stage here, since it's not going to be much use.
So you don't want those breaking up your hand.
A great card to discard. Considering the amount of time he's spending, probably doesn't have one. So just deciding, yeah, okay, we're going to drop a 9-drop Kaido.
It's a big card to drop.
Yeah, we've seen how critical that card's been in this matchup, because blue doesn't have a way to remove this card by skills. You have to swing into this card if you want to get it off the field.
So you got to imagine like his hand must have more queens in there or kings that he needs for that removal. That's a little bit cheaper. Can get that blocker ability.
Or
And
perhaps
we
he
can
has
see
2.
now.
Perhaps he has 2 Kaido in hand, and that's just a tell of, I don't need 2 of them, I've got my 1, and you can't deal with it. Back to the blue player's turn. A decent board now. We've got 2 Pacifistas, we've got the Sentomaru, which at this point you're probably more comfortable with attacking than leaving on field, since there's no more Pacifistas in the deck to play. Tapping 7. Is this a Don Flamingo? Sure is.
It is. Yep.
Your queen can go back to hand. Check.
So when purple thought they were playing chess, blue came to tell them otherwise.
Blue's playing checkers. Alright, queen's
back to hand.
A nice play there. Yeah, powering
That's
up
a
the
buff.
Sentomaru. Yeah, let's just start swinging with it. Let's
Fi-
get some
5K
cards out of
swing.
hand. Yeah. There's the counter. Another 5k swing. Another counter. And we've got 2 6k swings coming in. 4 cards, I believe, in purple's hand.
Interesting, leaving the 1 Don up still, considering the board is established with 5 characters. So there's the buff going to 7k now,
Yeah.
forcing the life and snap to hand.
Yeah. The Black Maria and the Sasiski, I believe it is, look very... Sorry, we're looking at... they look very similar in terms of their art, so a bit difficult to see that there was that blocker on the field. But yeah, a solid board now for blue. You've got a couple of 6,000 power beaters, you've got your 7,000 Don Flamingo, your Sentomaru, which you can continue to swing with, but probably getting swung into right here.
Yeah, and comfortable to let it go.
Yeah, it's served more than it's needed to.
Only 2 cards in hand, so not going to have too much counter power, but still at 4 life, so really comfortable high life point.
Exactly, yeah. And if we can get to our turn with both Pacifistas still on the field, you are sitting pretty, I feel. Swinging for 6 into a Pacifista. You know, we've got cards that can remove them. We've got King, we've got Barack Obama, 9-drop Kaido still available. We could pop a Pacifista and then attempt to swing into the other one. Is this a bait for the blocker?
Could be.
We're going to counter out. And there's 9-drop Kaido. Do we pop the blocker and perhaps just swing into the Pacifista?
Well, do you do that, or do you remove both of them?
You remove the Pacifista, and
Yeah.
if he wants to block here, you let him block. You guarantee the removal of the Pacifista.
I think we get the same result either way.
Yeah, it's just about guaranteeing. You want the Pacifista gone more than you want the blocker gone. And that should be a pass. Purple is doing his best to maintain this blue board. Still a couple of threats to deal with. A 7-drop Don Flamingo and a 6-drop Pacifista. Lots of energy to play with. We are at 10 Don for the blue player. And 5 Don for the purple player. Trying to decide where he distributes it. You know, we've got 5 cards in purple player's hand. We're in a comfortable position with 4 life as well. We are going to swing Don Flamingo into Kaido. This is one way to remove it, and it is gone. That's 2 Kaidos gone from purple. Huge.
Really pumping it up and then swinging direct. Now, is he removing the board presence, or is he going straight to the leader, do you think?
I reckon he'll remove the board. Yeah, this is a 5k into that 4k. You may drop cards if you like, but you're dealing with a 6k attack the following. Yeah,
definitely sitting at that high life, very, very comfortable.
Yeah, and this is the benefit of countering out of those low attacks at the beginning of the game. Now you're in a comfortable position where you can tap out, you can commit to these big attacks, and you're not worried about getting destroyed on the opponent's turn. So a 6k attack, your opponent wants to counter out here. He doesn't want to go down to 1. We see the counter, leaving him with 3 cards in hand to 2 cards in blue player's hand, but a much more established board. And this should be a pass here. Unless he opts to do the -4.
Blue looking far more comfortable in this match than we've seen in some other ones against purple.
Yeah.
Back to hand.
Yeah, it's a -4.
Do the full clear. Yep. Make sure you're comfortable.
Who's who can't KO anything on the field, so there's no real value in playing it again.
I think that's the right call.
Yeah, you're going to get 2 Don back on your turn, so it's technically, well, it's essentially a -2. A -2 to limit the amount of attacks in half by your opponent. Both players playing quite quickly as well, it feels. I don't have an eye on the count, but it seems to be going quite smoothly.
They're currently sitting at 40 minutes left in round, so moving through this game quite quickly. I'd say easily within half an hour we should see the resolution of at least game 1 for this round.
Yeah, and we do see that generally seems to be kind of the average, so that 30 minutes for game 1, and then we see the pace get picked up quite quickly. As King gets dropped, that Pacifista will get removed, and we'll see a pass. Back to 8 Don for blue. 3 cards in hand. Or potentially 2.
And we can see here, thinking through these plays, definitely a high high pressure situation, mapping out how many Don he wants to tap. 2 cards in hand, but more than 2 choices. And we're going with a 9k swing with Flamingo.
Yep. Probably just aware of that one Don in active mode. Doesn't want to see a Blast Breath come down that gets out of this attack for nothing. You're going to give me an extra card if you want to activate that Blast Breath. And when you've got 3 cards in hand, well, that's 66% of it.
And snap. Straight to hand.
Yeah. We could see a big...
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, yep. A big
another 9k.
Onto the leader here.
He's very aware of that event card. He knows it's going to give 4k. He wants to dwindle down that hand size. You're either going to use that card now, and there it is.
Yep. There's the extra card.
And extra card.
Yeah. You can't afford to take that life because you are dead next turn if you don't have a blocker available. Okay. The purple player now has 3 cards, so they seem to have had 5. And there's a pass. You're in a good position here.
Yeah, sitting very comfortable. Croc's got 4 life versus 1. But we have seen bounce backs before.
Yeah. And blue player feels quite confident. They don't seem to be stressed out. Their plays have been clean. They've got a clear strategy. And
Giving the Mr. Burns excellent.
you played right into my trap.
Release the hounds.
Dogs with bees in their mouths. Yeah, purple player having a tough time to decide here.
Seeing with just a 5k straight into leader here, no buffs, wanting to save his Don.
And blue players not immediately snapping this either. They're still thinking about their plays, whether it's worth taking this life, or do I counter around at this one, take the king if it comes my way, or protect my Don Flamingo, you know, still thinking everything out. And we are going to...
Tapping 2 for the event.
Yeah. So we are
and getting to draw 1 because less than 3.
Yeah. And that gives you plus 4,000. So that's a big commitment to draw a card on just a 5,000 swing.
And that's the thing, when you're sitting at 4 life, obviously you want to defend your life as much as possible. But surely at this point here, when you've got 2 cards in hand, you're sitting there thinking, I can afford to take a few more of these hits.
Yeah, you would think that you'd potentially take that life, and then you can protect the Don Flamingo from this king swing using that same energy.
Tapping 3, but nothing you can remove.
Yep, just getting that board presence, just to have cards to swing with the following turn, at the risk of cards in hand. Obviously, Who's Who doesn't have any counter, and Black Maria is a blocker, so you can see the thought behind playing these cards, but you're low on life here.
Absolutely. So that's the thing. Only 2 cards left in hand, but all you're facing down this turn is a leader swing.
Yep.
So there's no real point of something like a Sentamaru. You're not going to be getting those extra cards out of the deck because we've already seen all 4 of the Pacifista. It doesn't really matter about that. You're going to have to get more of these Flamingos out, or you're going to have to get some low beaters and really buff them with your Don.
Yeah, and it seems like Purple's probably switched onto that now. He's lost both of his Kaidos. Now I need to go low to the ground and start chipping away at this life. King is a bit safe in terms of some of the bounce effects. Obviously can be swung into, but when your opponent has 1 life, that's a difficult decision. Gecko Moria coming down for 4. We're going to search that drop area and pick up a 7 Warlords. I believe it also checks for Thriller Bark Pirates as well. So 4 or less, back to hand. A little bit more shaky now from the blue player. We're going to pick up the
option for the blocker.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of insight into where he's at the moment.
Yep.
And interesting, being the fact that he's quite comfortable in life, you think at that point in time you can grab so many pieces that you can put pressure with, but opting to go more defensive.
Exactly. You know, we know those pacifistas are in the deck. Do you opt to play a pacifista for 4? We're going to do the neg 4 and remove the blocker. We're going to
We
put
don't
the
want you
remaining Don onto our leader, it seems. And we're going to try and close this out next turn.
Does he leave the 1 for the blocker, or does he keep that? Because it has no counter power.
Yeah, I think... Oh, we're going for king. All right.
So he needed to get that extra buff.
Yep, makes sense. You've got so much life. You're comfortable to take some damage. If you want to put Don onto your Who's Who to try and push for damage, that's fine. I've got 2 attacks coming next turn, unless you can deal with my Gecko Moria.
Well, that's just going to feed him with answers, isn't it? So as soon as that pressure comes on, there's more cards to hand. Currently got 3 in hand. If he lets the next 2 swings go through, that's fine. Not an issue. You're still going to be sitting comfortable at 2 life, but going to have 5 cards in hand. That's a lot more choices than he's got currently.
Definitely. Ooh, this card was almost played. 4 Don. Do we see a page 1? We've seen a couple of ultis get played.
Seen a lot of Don math all day.
Yeah, plenty of Don math. When you have 2 uses for the Don, you really do need to be quite calculated with how much you're willing to commit. That looks to be 6 Don, or maybe
That's
7
a
going
big buff.
on. Yeah, that's going on to the Who's Who. Swing into lead. Happy to take that one. We
probably
could
gonna
see a neg 7.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's no point in putting the 7 unless you're going to burn it.
Yeah, we got a trigger here. He is deciding.
Yeah.
What do I need to do with this card?
Do I do? You know you want to play it. You want to put it in there. You've only got 1 character card out. It's coming into play.
It's not.
It's going to hand.
Yeah, it could be an event card as well. But, you know, looking at your cards like that does give more information to your opponent as well, you know? Because, like you said before, there's only 3 cards at the moment that are these trigger effects. The purple player can run through all 3 of them in his head and say, all right, now I know that you've got one of these cards. It's probably not the blocker, because that would have come out. And when you start thinking about the other blue triggers that you've got within blue, you start looking at things like the Sables, which returns a 7 or less to hand, so perhaps didn't see the value in returning the Who's Who, or Thrustpad Cannon, which can return a 3 or less to hand, which could bounce the Who's Who, but again, you just don't see that much value in it after it's already attacked and dealt damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is such a resource-heavy game where you've got so many resources. Like you said, you've got your hand size, you obviously got your deck, you've got your life, and you've got your Don to worry about. There's a lot to think about when you're making these plays.
Yeah, and we see the blocker come down for purple again. Blue does not want to see that. They wanted to push that 2 damage. They've got to spend resources if they want to get rid of that blocker to even attempt to push these last 2 damage through. Yeah, 8 Don.
Is he going to go through with another fat stack? Small hand size, but now his life is getting to a more critical point.
Yeah, we've seen this quickly start to even out.
We know he's most likely got one of those event cards from the life trigger.
Yep.
So it doesn't leave too many options.
5k swing at Who's Who potentially. Opting for the block. Getting it out there before any bounce effects come down, before you don't get the value out of it. We know that the blue player only has 1 attack available this turn.
Separating his Don into 4 and 4.
Yep.
I feel like at this point you're removing the board presence and not really worrying about much else. So we're going for the 9k swing here.
Yeah, I think this is going into the leader, and we're going to leave those Don in active for our event cards, I feel. Yeah. We could do the -4 here, bounce that Who's Who from using the cards under the leader. Or
He's also got another blocker in hand, so I think it wouldn't be a bad play.
Yep.
So we've got 3 and 1. Got the other blocker. I reckon you can do the -4 here and be comfortable to go in next turn.
Yeah,
Opting
you don't even
to
need to do the -4. I mean, you can to remove that attacker, and I feel as though you probably should limit your opponent to one attack. They can't play another 9-drop Kaido on you here. They've already been through 2, but I think that, yeah, bouncing that Who's Who may have been the correct play.
because you don't really need your Don too much, but then at the same time you're
Oh, yeah,
losing
there
buff
we go.
potential.
Oh, they've got a scoop from, I
Yeah,
believe, purple. Yeah, we're going to game 2. Very nice game there. Yeah.
very nice, very smooth. 30 minutes left in round, or 28 minutes if you want to get really technical. So plenty of time left. You can see these decks, because they're so controlling, they do take a while, and these are players that know what these decks do. So they've been playing all day. Fatigue is going to be setting in a little bit. We're coming up to, I believe it's 8 hours and 40 minutes currently since the event started. So they've been playing for a long time, but still making very smooth plays.
Yep. 9 hours of streaming. So, you know, we've been here for the long haul. We're happy to bring you these games. As always, and we've gone through it a couple of times over the event. Shout out to everyone that's been here since round 1. We really appreciate it if you do give our socials the love that they deserve. You know, we put a lot of effort into these things, so it's great to be rewarded. We appreciate the subs and the likes for those that have already, and we are about to get into game 2. Good on the purple player for realizing that he was he's lost, you know, and scooping there. Could have easily gone to his turn, played it out, wasted another 5-6 minutes, you know, gone to the blue player's turn. He takes another 2 minutes, things like that, and suddenly you've only got 20 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, it's something we mentioned a couple of times today. It's like knowing when you beat, knowing when to scoop is just as much as part of competitive gameplay as know when to push for game, because if you have no chance of taking that W, you want to make sure you're going to go, well, I at least want to give myself a chance to go for game 2.
That's it. Absolutely. We get things started. Purple kicks us off. 1 Don, nothing to play, and we'll see a pass.
Drawing for turn, getting 2 done.
Most likely a pass here also.
So no plays in hand.
Yeah, let's see that stage. Again, we see that defense calming down. There it is.
Getting that ramp.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant turn 2 from purple. Let's see if blue can follow it with a Sentimaru on turn 2.
Really crucial card, that stage card, just to stay ahead of the curve.
Yep. It's one you're mulligan for.
We've got leader just going 5k into lead. Opting to counter.
Yeah. Looking at hand again for Don paid, and we are going to play Gecko Moria and pick up that card that we just used to counter, which was the Marshal. No Sentimaru coming down, no threat of Pacifistas being absolutely just drawn out from the deck. That's what you want to see from a purple player. And just as quickly as he came, he's gone. And Baraki Obama removes the Gecko Moria.
Sad days.
We're getting an extra Don from the event card, an extra Don from the stage card, and we are at 8 Don already, going into 10 on purple player's turn when we get back there. That's a lot of Don.
Absolutely is.
Another 5k swing, and we will see the first damage is taken. Three Don, Sentimaru. Better late than never. We can resolve the effect right now, and we will do so. Searching through the deck, now's your chance to see what cards are in your life You can quickly have a look, see how many. You need to know your deck very well. How many copies of each card do I have? Double check, your triggers and things like that. It's great to know whether they're in your life. Those are the things you need to think about when you have the ability to look through your deck.
Absolutely. It's really crucial information. And there aren't too many decks in these starter battles that you can actually search through and know what you've got coming. So really, really handy.
Yeah, Blue's the only one that's able to do it right now. Utilize that effect. Get the knowledge that can give you a bit of an advantage. Jinbei counted out. 9-drop Kaido. He is back. Removing the Sentomaru. Doesn't want to continue to see Pacifistas brought out. We'll find another way to deal with this Pacifista on the field. Most likely swinging into it next turn. Let's remove the threat from the source.
Opting to take the life, going down to 4. So we've got 4 versus 4 currently. We have a match.
And this is a sweaty one. This is, depending on that table 2, this could be for the winner. Blue player still in a comfortable position. You've got a game under your belt. Play it out. It's not the worst thing if you lose here. You get to go first. You get to get the chance to see your cards and establish the board. Bounce back the things that need to be bounced. We see that Gary is not alone. Blue player deciding 5k swing, life snap taken.
It's really great to have your children come and assist with commentary when you don't know what plays are happening. I'm sure they can make something up.
We welcome all people of all ages at Double Sleeved. The score is 1-0 in favour of Blue at the moment. We are currently in Game 2. Gary, I know I've asked you a lot today. Do you mind telling me how much time we have left?
I'm happy to do it one more time for you, sir. We have 21 minutes remaining in this round, which could be the final round.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for confirmation on that. I have reached out, and the tournament organizer will let me know once they know, but this is all going to be pending what happens on the second table.
Yeah. And so we've slowed down a bit now as we get into this mid-game. I would like to see perhaps both players pick up the speed a little bit, just with that time dwindling down. We don't want to get in a position where we're into, tiebreakers and things like that. But we're swinging Pacifista very heavy into that Kaido. And we are going to counter out here. Yep, that's a super counter and 2 1000s.
Going down to 3 cards in hand.
Yep.
Blue very comfortable having 4 or 5 cards, opting to tap 1 to play the blocker out. So Law coming down there and passing turn.
Yep. And Purple is able to re-establish their Don that they sent back before, and very quick play there. -1, draw a card, activate your stage, get that Don back. We've got 5 or 6 Don available, I believe 5. Utilize 4 onto our leader. Let's force a block here. Do you think this is into lead or into Sentomaru? I mean, Pacifista.
I think it's into Pacifista. It looks like he's pointing towards his leader, though. I would say you you're at that point where you're at 3 life. You want to remove as much of that threat as possible, but at the same time, this is where the balancing act of this game is. When you got to know when to remove those characters, you got to know when to go for life. Blocking there, so using law, I would say that was going direct at life.
Yeah, I
And here we
think
go,
the
pacifist
leader.
going.
Yeah, I think the leader was into Pacifista.
Note to all players, when you are on stream, if you could point to the cards, it would help.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's really great to see such high level play happening in early days of this event. So it's only going to get better the longer this game develops.
Exactly, and as more people come into this game as well from other card games, we'll start seeing more experienced players, and it'll really boost the level of other players as well, the higher level players we can get on stream. Don available to the blue player for life, staring down the sights of a monstrous 9-drop Kaido. And it is just the bane of existence into blue. Just so difficult for them to deal with, and difficult for all decks to deal with, no doubt. But blue has so much removal for almost everything else in the game.
Apart from this guy.
Yeah, it is just so difficult.
And that's why we're being seeing a lot, and we'll probably see it this turn where essentially they just dump all their Don onto the one attack and say, I want this card out of his existence.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see it here.
Yeah, just unsure how much to commit. It looked like that might have been 4 Don.
Not sure it's going to be enough.
Yeah, we're swinging 8k here. It looks into that.
So it's going to life. Interesting.
Oh, that's a trigger. That's a trigger card if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I saw yellow text and now I've got to decide if I need it.
Yeah, I got to read it. What does this card do? All right,
and we've got Flamingo. Nice.
Bounce the card back to hand, and there's a pass. Could go either way here still. Neither player's really started to pull away just yet. We're going to replay the Sasiska again. -1, draw a card, plus a Don from the stage. Good kind of utilization of the cards in hand.
One, two, three, four, five, six.
King.
It's looking like it.
Your Highness
there it is.
Has arrived. Yep. All right, we're going to see a -1. Nothing to KO here, but establishing a big body. So no need to
-1.
no need to -1. Yeah, because you're not KOing anything. So.
And we've got leader into leader, countering out 1k. We are definitely getting to the pinch point of this match. We've got 15 minutes remaining in round. We are in game 2. The first game did go to the Croc player.
Yeah, and
we have a trigger.
Tables. Yeah, that's bouncing the king back any day of the week.
That's a really big play right now.
For nothing. Yeah, that is devastating.
That definitely hurts. And very good reason why. You want to swing with that leader first and then tap that 6, and that way you know your king's going to be safe.
Yep. Go through all those attacks. Sable goes to hand, king comes down, and you pass from there. If you want to remove my king, you're going to have to pay 4 Don for it. Starting to get low on time here. I would like to see these players pick it up a little bit. We do have a judge, of course, sitting in this table as well, so they'll relay any kind of, anything that they feel is necessary to the players. Doing their best. If they feel as though the players are playing slow, they'll definitely let them know as they have in the past. But you got to give the players the time to think as well. You know, these you can't make snap decisions at this high level event, and when you get into round 7, you need time to make the plays.
A lot at stake here.
Exactly.
Looking like he's thinking about putting 2. I'll say he's thinking about putting under Flamingo, but we'll see what he does here.
I think it just becomes a decision of, do you want to commit to continue removing this Kaido, or are we going to start swinging face? Because quickly your life is dwindling down.
Under leader, so we're going to 7k.
Yep. No blocker on field. 1 Don available for the event card, which...
And we're going in, checking for trigger, nothing there.
Yep.
That really awkward number, 7k.
Yep. We're going to put it to 8.
Nice.
Swing and lead. A blast breath here would be pretty nice.
Has got 9. The 1 Don up.
There it is.
There we go. Yep.
That's a good play. And this is why...
This man knows when to keep Don up.
Yeah. Yeah. Knows when to hold him and knows when to fold him. This is why that 7k and that 9k is a sweet spot, but when you've got 7 energy available, 7 Don available for another Don Flamingo, you make those plays.
Passing turn, straight back up to 10.
We've got 10 Don. 10 Don available. Yep. To do the -7 if need be. You're probably not winning this turn. There isn't enough Don available, but you need to find answers to deal with these Don Flamingos that are swinging at you next turn.
Queen coming down there.
That'll get you 1 block. Yep. We'll discard that stage card. Any day of the week.
That's where these Flamingos are really hard to get over the top of. Having that base 7,000 power, there's not too much without investing a lot of Don that can help remove them.
Yeah. Do you think you go 9,000 power into the rested Don Flamingo? Or... yeah, probably just swing the 10,000. I forgot that the other one was in active mode, to be honest.
How many cards does he have in hand? Covered up a little bit at the moment. I think it's only about 3.
In blue player?
Yeah, blue player.
Yeah,
three or four.
Yeah.
Those holographic sleeves, challenging to see. And that's the 1 gone. Okay.
Double queen.
Second queen.
Pretty good. Draw you some new cards. We've got 2 blockers. They're 5 drops, so they can be removed with a couple of different effects. Ooh, double stage. You like that?
Yep. Get rid of those bricks from your hand. You don't need them. And we're swinging face here.
Yep.
Countering you out.
Hand. And we'll see a pass here. Two attacks
even if
from
those
blue player.
queens, even if those queens aren't used to block, which they most likely might use one of them, it still sets you up in a really good spot for next turn to put on that pressure.
Yeah, I think you're just cautious about them being bounced. You know, the Raiders got an activate main. We've got Sable's the event card for 4. Another Don Flamingo if it is available. We don't know how many of these players are running.
Well, is that what you want to do? Because he does have a very healthy hand size. No Don in active mode, so we're not going to see any event cards. But do you use those cards to counter and keep as much board presence as possible, or do you activate the block to save life?
Yeah, that's the difficult decision here. You're at such a risk going down to zero life when everything becomes a threat at that point. Even your leader swinging at you for 15. There's only so many blocks available. Really thinking through his plays here. He knows that it's a tough decision and crucial at this point. Purple 2, we can see the leg tap. He's stressed out a little bit, but both players can still pull away and take this win. Obviously, blue player has a win under the belt.
We've got 8k going in. Swinging at lead. Opting to block. and not trying to save.
And now, what do you do from here?
If I massage my Don in the right way, it will tell me what to do.
If I put one of my Don upside down, it'll guarantee me the win. Alright, is that another Don Flamingo?
It is.
That's a
Tapping
third
7.
one. Still leaving the 2 Don available for event cards if we need.
I think that's a really smart play, though. Like, removing that threat, you're sitting comfortable at 3 life, and you've got a board for the next turn.
Yeah, and let's just swing 7k into your leader. Let's start forcing some cards out of hand. It's going to cost you 3. Yep.
Yeah. But if you don't remove those from hand, then your opponent's just going to come and bounce back next turn. So you want to limit their options. They can't play any cheap blockers, anything like that.
Yeah, and you've saved your Don. If you need to do the -4 the following turn to remove a small blocker, need be, another Queen, you have those available, and you're in a bit more of a comfortable position to close out the game with 3 attacks, provided Kaido doesn't swing into this Don Flamingo. But if it does, you take that anyway.
He's bounce 1 back, so you know he could potentially tap 5 to play another Queen. But now it's going to be, what direction does he want to go? Does he want to go low to the ground? Because he does still need to deal 3 damage plus an extra to the leader. So he's going to need to do a combination of defensive plays and offensive.
Swinging for 11 here. An interesting choice to utilize that Don. Probably not necessary with the amount of cards at hand and no Don available.
Trying to remove that Flamingo.
Yeah, he's willing to commit that 1 Don and guarantee its removal. And it looks like a Queen coming down. Alright, we're going to sequence. We're worried about Sable. Alright, nope, we're just going to play Queen. You've already seen it. It's coming down. We're going to see another stage get discarded. That would be amazing.
It is, yep.
There it
We've
is.
got the 3. So we've seen all 4 stage cards.
Yep. No better use than discarding off Queen. Just a little update. So he did verbalize the attack. He did verbalize playing the Queen, which is why it was played. And we see the who's who coming down. Not KOing anything, but like you said, going low to the ground, trying to establish that board. We may not kill you or deal any damage this turn, but we've got a blocker. We'll hope to deal some damage the next turn.
Time left around is just under 6 minutes left to go. So we are getting to the real pinch point. Obviously, Blue has got the first game of this round under his belt and looking fairly comfortable to keep putting pressure on. But there's still time left in this, and Purple's not out of it yet.
Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where how much defense do you have? You can continue to play your Queens and play your blockers and using those resources to defend as opposed to attack. But how long is that going to last you?
I think he could almost comfortably put half of his Don under his leader and Flamingo just to guarantee some pressure. And then still be okay for next turn. Yeah,
we've got the one Don open from Purple to utilize that Blast Breath. But now it's just that now the mathematics comes in. The 4th Don Flamingo.
That man does not want to go away.
Yep. He is running 46 of them. Forget 46 Pacifistas. We run 46 Don Flamingo.
This is how you play Blue, kids.
And we're going to swing 9. We're going to guarantee that damage. If you want an event card, do your Blast Breath. Give me an extra card.
Yeah. Really think he doesn't want to lose cards from hand, but at this point you have no choice.
Yep. definitely. Because if you don't, you're in a dangerous... Alright, he's taking that life. This is...
No triggers.
Yep. Dangerous position if you can't close out next turn.
Tapping 1.
There's a
We've
blocker.
got wall. Yep, extra blocker.
Beautiful. Blue is in a comfortable position here.
And may as well turn that leader sideways.
Of course, you're always going to get that card out of hand. Yep, I will take that page 1. Little shaky. You can see the end in sight. Thinking about doing the minus. And again, there's no downside here. It's costing you 2 Don to remove a potential attacker. Definitely the right play.
Yeah, doing the -4. Absolutely.
Yep, definitely.
They can almost smell that winner promo card. It's been hand chiseled out by the One Piece gods themselves.
Depending on what
Individually
happens,
signed.
yeah, depending on what happens at that table 2, this could be it. We could see this blue player here, and I feel like he knows that he's in a good position here. Tons of cards in purple's hand, but it can only protect you so much when you've got 2 7,000 power character cards, a leader card, and all the Don in the world. 8 Don, being able to utilize. Paying 3, -1 Don. We're going to draw a card. We're grasping at straws here.
And Don is all over the place.
Yeah, we are grasping at straw swords. Do we just drop queen again? Is that your best bet? So many cards in hand. So many decisions. Blue playing masterfully with what they've got. Block here.
Yeah. Protect your flamingo.
Yeah. If you want to remove my flamingo, you're going to need to put Don under that leader card. Yeah. Beautiful. And now if you want to play queen, it's a bit more difficult, isn't it? Because you're starting to spend some Don energy that you perhaps don't have.
Absolutely. You got to do the math here. If I want to get rid of that extra pressure.
Yeah. And this is all
And
you've
then
got.
how much do you need to get another blocker down?
This is the max that you can go in if you want to get that queen down. Countering out. Yep. Guarantee those 3 attacks. We'll see queen come down here, but is it enough to get through 3 attacks with 8 Don available?
I don't think it will be.
He's got a lot of cards in hand.
2, a lot of cards in hand.
No stage to drop this time.
Don't forget, blue also has the ability to rest a card.
To bounce back? Yeah, we can bounce that queen back to hand. You're right. Yep. And that's suddenly 2 7k swings. Lethal. And if you tip all 8 of those Don under that leader, you're swinging for 13.
So back up to 8 Don.
Depending on what you've got to remove the queen, actually, because it would cost you 4 to remove it, and then you would have 4 available to swing 9 with your leader.
You got 9 and then 2 7s though.
Exactly.
I think even regardless, I think that's a comfortable play.
If my math's correct, I think you need about 11k to get out of that. All right, Sable.
Here we go. Yep.
Bounce it back. Let's go. No Don inactive for purple. 9k. Let's start seeing your hand. Yep.
You're saying that this is all I can do.
Yep, that's 9. GG.
That is good game.
That is a dead hand at this point of the game.
Yeah, it's nice to see games really cleanly played out. Well done to Croc player. Just finishing out game 2 right on time on round. So fantastic effort. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if we have one more round this game, this tournament.
Yeah, and at this point we're purely just waiting for table 2. So depending on the result of table 2, we'll decide whether we have another round. You, as the blue player, you are sweating at this point.
Absolutely. You're so close to holding up the Premiership Cup, but at the same time, you don't know what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah. It's in sight. Like, it's right there. But as we've said in the past, we are approaching 9.5 hours of this stream, and we do appreciate everyone that's joined us over today. We've had a tremendous outcome joining us on the stream. We're going to take a quick intermission now. As always, if you enjoy the videos, check out our Facebook, check out our YouTube. We appreciate the subs to those that have today. We're going to take a brief intermission, and depending on the result of Table 2, we'll either come back to close out the event and award our winner, or we'll have another round for you guys. So we'll see you shortly.